Have you ever been in a situation where somebody does something for you and you think, man, that's incredibly thoughtful? You realize that what you were given was so much more than just a card or present that could have been purchased from Amazon and sent to you. And you step back and you think, how did this person do this? What type of person is able to create an experience like this? Now, what if I told you that that person could only do that because they were selfish? Now, before you shut this episode off, let me explain. You have to be selfish before you can be selfless. My name is Amber Fuhriman, and this is the More Than Corporate podcast. Welcome to the More Than Corporate podcast. I'm Amber Fuhriman, recovering perfectionist and serial accomplisher. If you're anything like I used to be, you've been living your life thinking that if you accomplish enough stuff, you'll finally find the success you've always wanted. But what if it's not about accomplishing more stuff? What if it's about accomplishing the right stuff? I believe you don't find success. You create it by intentionally designing the life you want and having the courage to get out of your comfort zone to live your design. I went from doing what I was supposed to do to doing what I love to do, and now I get to help others do the same. Keep listening as I chat with inspiring people who make it their mission to live their best life every day and learn how you too can live the life you've always wanted. Really quickly, before we jump into explaining why you have to be selfish before you can be selfless, if this is content that is valuable to you, if you want to be able to connect with me and other impact-driven entrepreneurs, if you're looking for any type of support to help you get in the right mindset, learn the skill set, and gain the tool set to be able to accomplish your goals both professionally and personally, then please head over to Facebook to the Success Center community on Facebook. We'll put the link for it in the show notes. The community is a great place for you to connect with both entrepreneurs and individuals who are just trying to make sure that they live life on their terms, whatever that looks like for them. I look forward to seeing you over there. When you get there, go ahead and drop a comment, say hello, do an intro video, let me know you're there. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Okay, so I know that it sounds counterintuitive, but just hear me out. You have to be more selfish before you can be selfless. If you've had that person that has done something for you that seems so incredibly selfless and almost unreasonable, I have a few that really come to my mind. A friend of mine flew from the East Coast over to Vegas to visit me after I put my dog down and was only here for a few hours and then flew back. It was simply a way for this person to show a gesture that I wasn't alone and that they cared. And it was, they could have sent a card and it would have been incredibly meaningful. And they could have sent a present and it would have been incredibly meaningful. And yet, I remember when this person came over here, I thought, what type of a person does that? And that's the type of friend I want to be. That's the type of business I want to have. So how do you do it? The reality is you can only think of others in that way, and you can only give that part of you to other people if you have protected what's important to you in the first place. Becoming selfish with your time, becoming selfish with your resources, becoming selfish with your energy allows you to make decisions that are in your best interest and be able to give part of your time, your energy, and your resources to others when they need it. To be able to be that friend that can say, you know what, my weekend's clear, and my weekend's clear because I kept it clear for this reason. Or that person that can say, you know what, I know that I have this stuff on my calendar. This is more important to me. So we're going to reschedule everything. If you don't have that selfish, making sure that what you're doing is in alignment with who you are, making sure that the things that you're saying yes to actually get you closer to your goal. We've all heard the phrase, stop saying no to the things that don't get you closer to your yes, right? We need to be making sure that all of the things that we are spending our resources on, resources being time, energy, financial, whatever that is, we need to make sure that we're spending those resources on things that are in alignment with us, that we're carving out time for ourselves, that we're calendaring in and making time for our relaxation, our discharge, our relaxation, our recharge, our time that we're going to spend with friends and family. We need to make sure that we are selfishly creating that boundary, that we will only say yes to things that are actually in alignment with who we are or get us closer to a goal that is important to us. And when you take this approach, it requires you to say no to a lot of things that you may otherwise have said yes to if you don't have that selfish boundary that allows you to prioritize. There's so much stuff going on in the world. There's so many programs that I want to be a part of. There's so many things that we all want to make sure that we're fitting into our life. And we have to, at some point in time, say, this is important to me. This is important to me too, but this is more important. So I am selfishly going to protect what's important to me and do this thing. There's a couple of things that come along with this that allow you to be truly selfless. And the biggest thing is self-worth. When you value yourself enough to protect your resources, your time, your energy, which are arguably the most important things to protect. Money is just an exchange of energy. It will come and it will go. Making sure that what you do is in alignment with who you are, that you're staying true to your purpose, that you're staying true to your goals, that you're saying no to things that don't get you closer to your yes. That requires an incredible amount of self-assurance and boundary setting. And keeping those boundaries can only be done when you have the self-worth of knowing that this is where you belong and that your worth is not tied to jumping into other situations or to buying programs or to jumping into communities. Like, you get to then spend the energy, the resources, the money on the things that actually further your goals. There's also another side to this, and that is, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but this used to be my life where I would want to do something for somebody and I would talk myself out of it because I would say, who am I? Like, I'm nobody special. I can't make their day better. I can't, no matter what I do, it's not going to impact them in any way because I don't have anything to give. And that came from an incredibly low self-esteem and incredibly low amount of self-love. When you start setting boundaries and you reassure yourself that you are worth protecting, you increase that self-esteem, you increase that self-love, you learn again that your worth is not tied to other people's expectations, that your worth and the love that you give yourself is not tied to some external accomplishment. And then you get to say, okay, I have this much of myself to give. I'm keeping this much of it, and I can give this much of it away. I've done a ton of work in the NLP world, and I've done a ton of work to move up my mindset and my self-worth and my self-love. And it's really interesting because recently a situation arose where I had the ability to do something that I know will make an incredible impact on somebody's life. And doing that could only happen because I understood my worth and my value and what I bring to the table. And that only happened by setting boundaries. And that only happened by being selfish. We can only give of ourselves what we have to give. And if we don't selfishly protect parts of ourselves, you don't have anything to give. You've given it all away to things that don't matter, to things that don't fulfill your purpose. You've given it all away to people who wouldn't give it back to you in return. This is why I say that in order for you to be selfless, you first have to be selfish. I'd love your thoughts on this episode. Always remember that you have the ability to design the life that you've always wanted. You have the ability to live it on your terms. And once you design that life, you owe it to yourself to get out of your comfort zone and live it. Don't let that design sit on the shelf. Hopefully, I'll see you guys over in the Success Center community, and I'm super excited to connect with you all. Contact information is in the show notes. If you want to reach out to me, I'd love to connect with you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the More Than Corporate podcast. If anything that was said during this episode resonated with you or provided value in any way, it would mean the world to me if you would head over to iTunes and leave a rating and review for the More Than Corporate podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. If you'd also like to connect, I've created a Facebook group that is full of amazing people who also make it their mission to live their best life every single day. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, the name of that Facebook group is Success Center. Head over there, request to join, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.